Hi everybody, this is Ms. D'Amico. This week we're going to be talking about graphic novels. I know they're a favorite of some of you. Today you will learn the term and be able to define graphic novel. You will also be able to identify some parts of a graphic novel. So here's the definition. A graphic novel is simply a story that is presented in comic strip form but published as a book. Graphic novels use text and pictures to present information or tell a story. And remember that text simply means words that are written down. And here's an example of a graphic novel that we have in our library. Here are some different types of graphic novels. They could be superhero stories, manga, nonfiction, fantasy, personal narratives, and fiction. Almost anything you can think of could be turned into a graphic novel. All right, so here we have Spider-Man stories and some of your favorites, Dogman. These are some things that are on a graphic novel page. You'll need to be able to tell what a panel and a gutter and a dialogue balloon is. Thought bubbles, captions, and sound effects. Those are what we'll go over now. Speech balloons, take a look at this. It tells what a character is saying. So it's a bubble with a tail that points to whoever is saying what they want to convey in the story. A speech balloon looks kind of round like a balloon. Thought bubbles. Notice Garfield here has bubbles going up to what he's thinking. Since cats cannot talk, he is thinking this. All right, so that is a thought bubble. It tells what characters think in their head but don't say out loud. Captions. They're rectangular boxes in a graphic novel that tell something about the story. Nobody is saying what is here in this box, but it helps you know what's going on in the story. So see the thought bubbles, but then this is a caption box. It just tells you background information. Now, in the dialogue boxes, the captions, some words are bigger or bolder than the others, and that means there is a lot of emotion in those words. So sound effects, they could be like crash or boom or ha ha ha. These are not in any dialogue balloons or thought bubbles, but they are on the pages and they let you know what's going on in the scene. Huh? Pow, boom, all those things would be sound effects in a graphic novel. There are lots of different page layouts you could have in a graphic novel. Here are some. And the main thing you need to know is that a panel is a rectangle or square or other shape that has the pictures and the dialogue in it. The tier is, well, here's the first tier, there's the second tier, there's the third tier, the different rows of story you have to go through. The gutter is all this empty space in between the panels. So any part here on the inside of panels and around them is the gutter. So those are things that you need to know, basically the panels and the gutters that separate them. A spread is when you have a picture that goes across both sides of a page, the left side of the page and the right side of the page. That is a spread picture. Here's a little review of things that you need to know. The dialogue balloon tells what people are saying, and the tail points to whoever's saying it. The thought bubble has these little bubbles. These are what people are thinking, not what they're saying out loud. Sound effects are often in spiky little things like this. Caption boxes are the rectangles that have words in them that nobody is saying, but it helps the story along. The panels are the squares or rectangles, and the gutters are in between the squares or rectangles. Those are important terms to know. Now it's time to find out what you remember from our little discussion. You're going to choose one of these. What is the definition of a graphic novel? A book that has no words. B, a book that uses text and pictures to present information. Or C, a book that only uses text to present information. Think about that a second, make your pick, and let's see if you're right. If you chose B, a book that uses text and pictures to present information, you were absolutely correct. Now we have to identify these parts of the page. Number 1 is pointing to this rectangle and everything in it. What is this rectangle called? Number 2 is pointing to this space in between these rectangles and squares. Try to remember what those were. Let's see if you're right. The first one is a panel, and the in between is called the gutter. Hope you remembered that. All right, now's your turn to identify what is what. This thing here with the bubbles going up to it, what is this? What is this spiky thing, and what is this round one? Our choices are A would be dialogue balloon, B is the thought bubble, and C is the sound effect. So in here, on the next page, you're going to see me label the correct ones. Think about what you need, and let's see if you're right. B is the thought bubble right here. The spiky one is C, a sound effect, and the round one is the dialogue balloon. Now I bet you're thinking, what are some graphic novels that I would enjoy? Well, if you take a look at the next few slides, you'll see some that we have in our library. These are all graphic novels on our shelves for you to enjoy. El Deafo, Ghosts, Mighty Jack. We have superhero type graphic novels. We have just the plain old fun graphic novels with some of your favorite characters like Baby Mouse and Plants vs. Zombies and Pokemon. And the Babysitter's Little Sisters books are finally out. There are also nonfiction books that are written in graphic novel form. You could learn about food chains with this graphic novel, or in history, Harriet Tubman. And here are two books about science written in graphic novel form. This one's about dogs, this one's about volcanoes. We have so many graphic novels for you to explore. I hope that you check some out the next time you visit the library. All right, until next week, I hope you have a great week and check out some library books.